course, see, the struggle is a long struggle. You know, when Isro started, 1960s to now, it is a 60 years of struggle. Now, that is not required for anybody coming in, but they have to struggle. So, we are here to help. Okay, so that help is always there. Recently, we are in discussion, we are in dialogue to understand their difficulties. Whatever support we are able to do, we are able to. But it is not copying what Isro knows there. No, they are developing new systems. So, anything new has its own qualification, new materials, new processes, testing. Then only it can reach launching. So, otherwise we had reproduced PSLV and launched. No? That is not what is intended. So, it will take time. So, we understand that.
Next 3 months we have very big plan for.
Not only for 3 months, sir. More time. Okay, next 3 months I mentioned only because if I start talking, you will all get bored. No? So I thought I will tell only a few things. One is 3 months we have to launch Aditya L1 in PSLV. We want to launch GSLV Navic, which is yet to be processed, but we are trying to launch it. Then we have a GSLV Mark 3 with Chandrayaan 3 to be launched. This all will happen before June-July time frame. Then afterwards, we have next set of PSLV coming in. One is again a commercial launch for NSIL. Then PSLV is again for Aditya L1 I mentioned. Then test vehicle for Gaganyaan. That is abort mission demonstration test. We have to have an SSLV launch. We have to have a repeat launch of GSLV for our climate satellite called INSAT 3DS. Then there is a launch of EXPOSAT, X-ray polarimeter satellite, which is again a scientific satellite using PSLV. Then we have the launch of Anvesha. There is a user-driven commercial satellite again. Like that. Okay. If I go speaking, you would have forgotten by now. See, space policy is a policy. Now, what we have to make is implementation plan of the policy. Correct? So, the policy is to be implemented by Department of Space. And I am the Secretary of the Department. So we are making plans to implement it. Even before the policy was announced, we were already implementing because Cabinet decided it. How to implement this space policy based on that. One, I'll tell you quickly, NSIL is now made into an agency which is now, they can own and operate on their system. So we transferred 10 satellites right away to them. Then we transferred the PSLV to them to industrialize, that they have already started. Then they are building satellites on their own. First satellite of that was already built and launched, second they are going to do. And they are now trying to find out money by which they can fund building new satellites and new rockets in Isro. This is a big change. So let me finish this question. There is another agency called InSpace, which is the Indian National Space Agency for Authorization and Promotion. That was, even before itself, it was this poem, payloads are all coming. Then we are talking about startups mentoring. So the startups which was only 50 before the space policy, today there are 200 plus startups. So we are creating ecosystem by which they can come in, talk to Isro and conduct missions in Isro. The first ever private launches rocket happened after the space sector reforms. And engine testings, various other system developments are happening all across. Even the launch which happened recently, the Bellatrix, they have a electric propulsion thruster. It also got tested in our facilities before they put it all there. So ISRO is now working with the non-governmental entities to help them to develop the capabilities. It's already there.
How we make revenue?
See, revenue, there are two types of things. Revenue is the job of business, right? Government is not in business. So wherever there is a business and revenue, that the last person is the responsible. Okay, so wherever there is research and development is involved, all centers are responsible. When there is private people are involved, InSpace is responsible. So you understood that. So we have created a bifurcation of responsibility. One at a time. Can we do one thing? Ask her.
Commercial satellite launches are emerging as a new business frontier. So a month ago, we successfully completed one month's commercial satellites launches in which it carried 72 satellites and 2 missions of 36 satellites. So having said that, can you talk about India and ISRO's commercialization in space?
See, last 60 years our job was to develop capability. Okay. Meantime, we were also offering commercial services as whatever is possible we were offering as commercial. That means all PSLVs were not commercial. We launched still 400 small satellites, highest ever launched by any national space agency of any world. We launched. And we have been giving a lot of commercial services. The fifth commercial service of the PSLV has happened. So commercial services was always there. But commercial service as a business service, we have never looked at it. How to build rocket for doing revenue. We never looked at it. We are building it for the nation. Now there is a change happening. The change is that we are going to do certain things for business purpose. How industries, startups, how they can work on it and create revenue. Revenue is not in launching alone. Revenue is in applications. You know, NAVIC applications, imaging applications, communication applications, strategic applications. There is a lot of money. So we are allowing industries to use the satellite data and generate some applications and create revenue. Once there is a satellite data demand increases, people will start building satellites. Are you aware that there are at least 5 satellite building companies in India? You are aware? Other than Isro today, already 5 industries have started building satellites in India, and their satellites will start launching from this year and onwards. And they are going to build satellites in not 1 or 2, they are going to build in hundreds and 50s and hundreds. And they are planning to export satellite built in India outside. So this is another commercial activity. So we are looking at application side, we are building in satellite side, we are also building PSLV 100% commercially. That means whoever is building PSLV has to invest, build, launch and make profit. So this is a model coming up. Okay.
That kind of reusable rocket project has been successful. What will be the next step to reusable rocket?
Reuse it. See, a reusable rocket is meant for reuse. Whatever we did, we will once again do. We will do again. So it takes some steps to perfect it. So this was only one launch of the test vehicle called the RLV-TD Lex mission. The reusable launch vehicle experimental part, which is a technology demonstration landing experiment. It is second of the series of tests which we did. Long back we did a rocket-based test. We went up to 16 kilometers, came back and landed in sea. We couldn't retrieve. Now in this launch it is in the landing strip, so we could retrieve. So we are planning once again do the drop at extreme conditions to prove that this will still land when there is difficulty. So 2-3 times when we do, we will fully understand the technology and master it. After that, we are making a bigger one. The bigger one is going to be called ORV, Orbital Recovery Vehicle. And that design and work is going on in Vikrant Sarabhi Space Center. This will be launched to orbit. It will go to orbit, something like 400 kilometers. It will stay there for weeks or months or years together, do some work and come back and land. All unmanned. Either rocket. So you want it to be NSIL, tomorrow I will transfer. See, only thing is NSIL should give me money. See, we need to deal with him in business-like environment. If you give me money, I will give RLV. Are you ready? So it is simple like this. ISRO's job is to develop technology, and we are offering it for commercial use. If a private company in India comes and asks us, I am ready to build the RLV and operate on a commercial basis, ISRO is willing to hand it over to them. So NSIL or private companies, whoever is doing, we are all government funded organizations. Your money only we use to develop it. So it is a public good item. An Indian company willing to develop it, use it commercially, we are ready to hand over all that we know. It is already there. Cell phone, you are not buying the cell phone which has a NAVIC. That's why it is not getting. So 30 different models of cell phones are already having NAVIC. I will give the model numbers. So buy it, you will get it. So, but there is a difficulty. I was only joking to say, but more common mobiles are not having it. There is an issue that is with a certain chipsets. So what we are trying to do is we are going to launch, we have already launched one satellite, we are launch another 5 more, in which there is a frequency called L1 band. That L1 band, all your mobiles will become NAVIC compatible. That takes some more years, 1.5 years we are targeting to complete that. After that it will be, every mobile phone will have NAVIC enabled services. Okay.
You said there are many more projects coming on, you don't want to talk about it.
No, no. I said so many launches. It was too much.
Three, four, in coming 3-4 months, what will be there? I was just keen to know about the Gaganyaan project, sir.
Okay. So I already told in between, you didn't get it. There is a Gaganyaan project mission called the test vehicle mission. This is precisely for launching the Gaganyaan crew module to a altitude of around 12 to 14 kilometers. Then say the mission is failing and rescue the crew. So for that we have developed a new rocket which is already there in this Sriharikota now. So we are tentatively scheduling the launch to happen in June. So let us hope so. In between we are doing helicopter based drop test, that is called the integrated air rope thrust. That also will happen in SHAR, 2-3 numbers of them. After that, this year end, we are targeting the unmanned orbital, not this year end, beginning of next year, that is February is our target of 2024. We will be launching the GSLV Mark III human rated with the crew module unmanned. It will go to orbit. After that, it will come back and land in the sea. So this is the 1 year program for Gaganyaan.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, we will conclude in today's meet.
Any other questions to anybody else? Already there. You want it? I will send it to you by WhatsApp. Yeah. I didn't get it. This year, if you want, then I have to do something special. Say, launchpad building is not simply one making a concrete pedestal. We need a lot of infrastructure. Buildings are to be built, propellant service facilities are required, radars are to be built, computer network has to be created. We have to link that place to Sriharikota. Then we have to take the accommodation, housing, people stay. No, there is a huge infrastructure building is to happen. So land acquisition is still not completed. Okay, so we are yet to get some 50 odd acres from Tamil Nadu, which is in process. But we have already started the boundary wall construction. Entire design of the facilities are completed. I am telling director of Satish Dhawan Space Center is taking the action to build it. So he is going to tender it out and trying to complete the whole facility in 2 years of time. But meantime, we will do something to have a launch even before that, which will be announced due course.
Thank you, sir.
Huh?
Official competitor for
Radhakrishnan, who is your competitor?
When you look at the commercial competitors of the launch vehicles, it again depends on the type of launches. When you're looking at PSLV, for example, which is having 1.5 to 2 tons of profit. Some of the commercially competitive vehicles are the European ones, which is like Vega or Vega C. And when you look at PSLV Mark III 4.5